So, can you all hear me? I think yes. Yeah, okay. Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another session on Zoom. And thanks a lot Photowork Connect, Photowork Dubai, and Zubod for this amazing sessions you're conducting. And we have lots of sessions so far. And for me itself, this is the first session.
Shamim, your voice is breaking.
Hello? Hello?
It's good. Don't try to, keep yourself a bit closer.
Okay, got it. Okay, and thank you everyone once again for joining in. And usually I do mostly Lightroom or Photoshop editing sessions. So this time I'm trying to do something different, mostly trying to exhibit or show my works. And to add on to that, I'm going to show some behind the scenes or the contact sheets of the photos, how I ended up selecting this particular photo. Okay, so I'm selecting the pictures only for those which I got enough behind the scenes or the work in progress shots. I don't have for all the pictures of my Lightroom of my works. So whichever pictures I have, the BTS shots, and whichever is good enough to show, I'm trying to show it to you. Okay, so let's begin. At any point of time, you want to stop me and ask me anything to clarify, I can get in detail of it. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, about me, I'm a Dubai-based freelance photographer. I'm a graphic designer. I do retouching, and my background is I own a printing press, so that got me into photography and Photoshop. And I do teach photography, flash photography, and Lightroom editing. You guys know all those things. And recently, I got myself into video editing and all those things. And I'm recently doing a YouTube channel where I'm discussing how to edit the photos. So maybe I'll come up with some details in particular about each and every specific items in Lightroom, and that's work in progress. So you can check out these links to just connect. Yep. So do show some love. Okay. So let's get into it. So the first picture. This picture I am starting in a simple ones. Obviously, we did this in Pushkar during our photo walk trip there, and this picture was done using a reflector shot. Like, obviously, you can see the sun behind the person's head. So I think Zulfi was holding the reflector for me for doing this shot. So that light you see on him is coming from the reflector above his head. Now let's see the contact sheets, few photos from there. So this is where it all began. So I asked my person to sit down and trying to compose a shot. In the first one, you could see there's clutters in the background, like the camels are there. I don't want that to be overlapping over his shoulders or head. So I go even way more down and I start composing, and I'm getting a reflected light somewhere over here. And here I'm slightly adjusting the exposure. At this point can you guys see my cursor, the mouse arrow?
Yeah, it's all good. Go ahead.
You can see the mouse arrow, right?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Okay. At this point, this person really got fed up. I think more in between these 4 shots, I had taken another 10, 15 more shots with waiting for angle. It was almost the same like the second shot. He was sitting static and there was no emotion happening. I was waiting for a moment which will work, because this is really boring. So I'm still continuing shooting. I didn't tell a word to him. He really got fed up at this point in the third image, and he raised his hands and he was about to go. So that's when I think this hand action, which is still out against the head, against the sun, it makes this shot. And again, this hand and the camel in the background is somewhere, depicting where we are. So that was the story of this picture. And now the next picture. This is
Shamim, I have a question. Sorry.
Varanasi. Sorry?
Shamim, this is Jairam here. I have a question on your previous photo.
Yeah, tell me.
So where was the reflector? Is it on the top or is it front or maybe behind you?
I am literally on the floor, just below his knee. I'm below his knees. Okay. And Zulfikar is just standing on top of me. So the reflector
top of you.
Yeah, on top of me.
Okay.
And the
Thank
reflector
you.
is almost above the person's head.
Not literally on top of him. Don't try it at home.
Yeah. Okay.
mean-
Thank you. Thank you.
And can't imagine Sylvia standing on top of me. Okay. So next picture. This is from Varanasi. Obviously, this picture was really good hit for me. It went more places. And for my luck, I have a BTS video of this. And I asked the famous photographer. He was there during this shot. So first, let me go show you the BTS. So that's me walking. That's the guard there. So that's a shot. So yes, this again is. I mean, usually we start early morning around 5ish, or maybe even earlier than that. So we all reached the ghats for the shoot, and it was really foggy and misty. And the right hand side is the the river going there. And upon seeing this light, I got my pre-setting. I set my camera. Everything was ready for me. I was waiting for someone to walk into my frame. So even before this person came, I did my test shot, my composition, my camera settings were all dialed in, and I was just waiting for the person to walk in. So we were all having chit chat. For my luck, the person walks in, I go behind them. I'm looking for a center composition only. So this leading lines, I didn't see any distraction, and I wanted to do it like a backlit shot using this street lamp there. And I think even Ayas also having the same thing in mind. That is why we both went along with the person at the same time. So just that I went one step ahead of Ayas. So he was able to get the BTS video of the shot. And this shot particularly works because I think that this point of the leg, which is the fraction of a second, and this shawl, what's happening over here, and that along with the sharp corners everywhere, I think that makes this one work.
There is beauty in simplicity.
Yes, thank you, boy. Thank you, Subodh. And what else about to say? Yeah, and again, I'm trying to mostly I love center composition. Obviously, there are rule of thirds and all those things. The shots which are going to talk, even the previous shot, and I think coming up 3-4 shots, mostly it's going to be about center composition. And people said avoid center composition, but in the coming shots, I'm doing only the center composition. I selected the pictures which are center composition shots, and I'll try to explain why it works for me. Okay, and here if you see the leading lines, even this small grid lines, everything, if you extend the line, it will go to the person's head. Okay, so that's a video. Now the next shot. This was from Majuli Island, again another PWD trip. As usual, we woke up early morning around 4ish, and for this shot, me and Zulfi, we lost our way. We were like 5-10 minutes late, and we lost the group, and we took a different direction, and we got lost, and we went for a different boat ride, and it was a beautiful place there. And we come to this road, and I see this tree, and after that point, it's all misty. So let's see the BTS of that. This is what you get to see. So you see, I'm working on the scene again, like the previous shot, the same thought process. You have your background ready, you have your camera setting dialed in, and you just wait for your subject to appear. Similarly, we wait, and one cycle guy come from opposite direction. It's okay, shot. Then again, few 10 minutes or 5 minutes, so again waiting. You again this person with a couple cycle comes. So then I get my shot with all the composition. Now then comes the creative part. So there's no right or wrong in the how the way you process it. I felt this it looks more like a bluish, and it's not giving the right feeling what was there when I was there. So I made this area where the mist or the fog is there. I made it more towards yellow, which is like almost the supplementary color to the green. The color wheel, you can see the yellow and green are near color. So I made it as close to that, and along that I made the silhouette of the person in the cycle. So why this again is working? Again, the same rule. You see this fences and these roads, everything. If you extend the lines, it will meet at the. This is where it joins. Again, it is like a framing in shot, and along with the no disturbance. So again, that's why I feel this shot is working for me.
If I can come in between, Mrinal Nath, can you please mute your audio and also your video? Continue, Shamim, continue.
Yeah. Again, another center composition shot. This shot started with something completely, my subject was different. The person who was there, they knew what it was, who it was. Okay. So I'm just showing you the BTA shot of this. So this is how it all began. I was shooting someone else. To be precise, I was shooting Kirti there. Hi, Kirti.
Hi.
Yeah. So even before shooting Kirti, the dog just got off the boat and went back. While I was shooting her, this dog again came to the boat. Then I told her, if the dog is coming close to the edge, you should get out. I want to shoot the dog. So I was waiting. This was what was there in my mind. So I was not sure if I'll get it. This was sitting in this position, the second position, for quite long some time. Even I got bored. I got out of the boat. Then after a few seconds or few minutes after me getting out, the dog got out and it started walking towards the edge of the boat, which I was wanted. Then immediately I cannot rush or I cannot be too slow. I don't want it to get disturbed. And I slowly started walking inside. I waited for it. I had taken a couple of shots. I know I don't want any distraction, any reflection. I just want the reflection against the dog. And for quite some time, the dog was facing that direction. It was not giving me the profile shot. So I was waiting on this slab there for another, I think, at least 3 to 5 minutes there. And I got one picture where the dog turned this side, then turned this side. By the time this boat over here, you see far, that started coming inside. The dog jumped into the water and swam away. So that was the behind the scene of the shot. So the concept, what I'm trying to say is, when you know the scene is coming, first of all, my vision was to do this. And when you know the things are working in your favor, you should be ready with your shutter speed and your composition at least to get the shot. And moving on. Yes, this is from my last trip to a temple called Kulasai in Madurai, Kulasaigarapattanam. Okay, there the people come for worshipping their god. So after worshipping, they go to the sea which is behind this area to remove all this tire. So this is what the behind the scene happens. Not one, you see another what do you call this? Another person with the dressing, and there are little bit to the left, little bit to the right. There are another hundreds of people doing the same thing, and there are another 50 to 60 photographer queuing up with me the side. So I made this fellow pose there and waiting for the shot for the waves to come for the formation. So again, I'm going for a center composition shot. I'm literally almost as low as the ground. You see here, I'm high a little bit my chest level. I'm not getting the impact, like the powerful shot or power of this god feeling. So I went literally low to give him above the sea level, so that the hands are a little bit above his sea level. And I'm waiting for the action to happen. So initially, I like this picture, the last one. But then if I had to go for this, I have to entirely crop this person out, which I'll be losing lots of details, and I'll be cutting away this water as well. That is why I went with this is one frame before that. So next frame he comes in, the one frame before that, I get the shot. So here also is little bit there, I had cropped in a little bit, so still maintaining the center composition.
Also shows how editing plays a role, because what she's wearing, the god, he or she, in the,
Yeah.
can you go?
Let's
Yeah,
say
all those the dots in orange
the
tone.
lemon. They're trying to keep like a lemon in between the skeleton. So that's again is a process. That's a thought process. Like you see, I want the yellow and blue are complementary colors, and with a little bit of tint and the magenta in the background, and the sky blue again, the sky blue color hands, and that little bit pop of yellow. That is really, I think, for me is making the shot. And you see the little bit of punch I give on the white of the water. That again, so these are like selectively we should enhance so that you tell the story and at least what you felt while clicking the picture. Suppose if I select this picture and I just do a little bit of brighten and darkening, it will not tell the story. It's like just some person standing. I think when you shoot raw, you should take out the real power of the image. You should extract all those colors and vibrance and the brightness of the picture to tell the true story or to bring in the power of the shot. This is the next one. Again, this is one similar to the one before. Again, I'm working on the blue and yellow concept. Let's see the behind the scene. This is from Varanasi. I see this. What do you call blue background in the beginning. That was my first. Even before noticing this guy, I thought someone else is gonna come there and be waiting. I saw the blue, and this guy was somewhere off center over here. And I saw the blue. I thought, okay, this guy will move. Someone gonna walk like a walking shot. I'm gonna get. I didn't expect him to, stare at me like this. I was expecting to have someone walking past shot. That was my aim initially. So I was waiting for that. But then this guy didn't move. He was chilling around there and he little bit moved. He didn't have idea. He was thinking I'm photographing him or he's in a bit of confused state. So he was chilling around there. Even I thought after a few seconds, then he realized, okay, maybe I will use him only as a shot. So that's when I started having, started framing, adjusting my position according to him, again to have a center composition. You see here, there's something sticker on top of his head. So I carefully little bit lowered my camera so I could get rid of that. Now, after doing that, I'm waiting for the moment to get the eye contact, because previously, so without eye contact, there's no impact. There is no impact, and I feel a little bit still I can get something more better. So I'm still working out the same. So I got one glance. I was still clicking my shutter. He looked once again properly, and he looked forward. Then never he looked at my frame. So these three shots I have. So again, this works because of the yellow and blue, the complementary colors and the composition. I'm not sure how effective or how powerful this will be if you're doing it in a rule of thirds composition. So mostly I feel the center composition will work if you have a clutter-free background and you have your background is really working out well with your subject without any distraction. Now I'm going towards the rule of thirds composition shots. Again, this shot again from another shot from our northeast trip. So what I saw first in the shot, this is where it happened. You see, this is the place, and here's the bridge. And this is what I saw. And after saying this, I changed my lens. I wanted immediately. I know this is a portion where I wanted in my frame. And without the person, it's just a blunt image. Then I mean this was like a semi-pose shot. I call this guy. He was just cycling around this area. He was late for school or something. With the school uniform, and I especially there are 3-4 guys also walking past by. Again, I choose this guy because of the t-shirt color or the sweater color he's wearing. It's complementing to the green, so which is gonna pop him up. So I told him, if possible, can you go stand? He was like more than happy. I told, okay, stand there. Then he stood there. I was trying to try different composition. After getting the composition, this is where we end up, cropping to rule of thirds and this one. Here I didn't try the center composition because if I do center, you see, it's this part has to come in the frame, which will not work. So to avoid that area, I did the rule of thirds bottom right.
Shamim, Karthik
Yeah.
here. I have a question.
Yeah, Yeah.
This is brilliant, man. This editing is so good and composition also is great. So I think the editing is so subtle because like it comes out of your experience.
Yeah,
So
basically, I give credit to the graphic design background where we know the color, how it works. So that goes there. Yeah.
so any words? I mean, just 2 cents for your for the beginners on editing, because like when I start doing my editing part, like what I do is like I always over edit. And people come and say, man, this is too saturated, or like this is too dark, or like it's too bright. So any words for any advice for the beginners on editing?
Yeah, see, so even I was there. Even I was there when I started off with my major complaint was either my black was too high or I go too much with the oversaturation or the blue. So the first thing is you should get a good monitor, because if you're editing on your laptop or if you're editing on your uncalibrated monitor, uh, because you're putting in lots of effort, lots of time. You're traveling, you're clicking picture. You look at the amount of time you're putting into it, amount of money you're putting into it. Ultimately, you're showing it through an image, you're showing it through a screen. And if that screen is not proper, it is like you're buying your biggest camera body and you just put a kit lens on it. So even worst is you're editing on a wrongly calibrated or uncalibrated monitor. That could do more harm. So that is point number one. And then I don't edit immediately after coming from the trip, or unless it is something which is immediately be shown. You know how long I take to upload a picture, because I take some time to remove all those hard work which I associate with the picture. For example, this hard work with this picture, I can tell immediately after the shoot. I associate. I woke up early morning. I walked this many hours. I found this guy. So those things the audience don't care about. So those things has to be thrown out of your head. Only the picture should be in a concentration. So that's point number two. And then you start editing each and every. For example, in Lightroom when you edit, there are different steps, right? Like the standard, like the calibration. There are every step. After doing one step, go before and see. There's a backslash key. Press before. On Photoshop also you can do the before after. You see from where you started. You have to compare your picture with from the base picture where you started, not from the previous step. You start from the base, so then only you know how far you reached. Then from there you continue. So after editing also, I personally feel if you're leaving it for another 2 or 3 days, then come without seeing it, then come back, then see it. Still if you feel my editing is right, my color is right, then go ahead and upload it. Because what happens, for example, initially when I'm here, my eyes is like my eyes set the benchmark. Okay, this is the correct green. If I still continue editing, I feel okay, this I can still, if I feel the green is weak, I can increase more. Your eyes get reset every time. So go back, reset your eyes 2-3 times, 2-3 days ahead, then come back to the picture, then see. Why do you feel sometimes you upload a picture after 1 month or 2 months, after some time you feel, oh my god, why did I even upload this picture? The editing is wrong, the color is not right, brightness is not right. That is because your eyes get used to that color when you're editing it. So wait for 2-3 days, then upload it. Then another shortcut which I tell you is, nowadays you got like different screen. You have your mobile, you have your iPad, you have your iPhone. So before uploading, you check the image in different monitors, maybe on your iPhone or your Android phone, whatever. Try different phones at least. If you cannot get a external monitor, at least try different monitor and check how color consistent it is.
One more
Then
thing to add is one thing that I do, and recently in my portfolio review with Nikon, I was telling the same thing. Have at least 2-3 photographer friends and send them the picture. Once you edit, send them the picture. Let them see it on their screen. Maybe they're using iPhone, maybe they're using Android, maybe they'll see it on the laptop. Get an average of opinions. Like don't just depend on yourself, because pictures are very important. And if you really consider them to be your art, you need to get a proper opinion. Send it to 2-3 people, get their opinion, average it out. If they say it's too saturated, rethink your editing. So I think that should happen also.
yes, exactly. That's again a very, very valid point. Okay, so moving on. Again, this is from the Ghats of Varanasi. Again, this is again a rule of thirds, top right composition. Sorry, top left composition. Here also I'm playing with just blue and yellow. And let's go behind the scenes of this. So this is where it all began, guys. These people were drying the clothes. I know at some point they're going to finish. Either they're going to walk up that way or walk up this way. But I was praying she'll walk up this center steps where she actually walked up. Yes. I was on this platform over here. I got all my composition. You see all these 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 photos. This is edited one. I tried different editing. You see the composition, the camera setting has not changed. The brightness, the color, everything is same. I dialed down my settings ahead of time, even before she approached my point. I dialed down my setting. I know my composition is somewhere over here. So these all are my pre-composition shots. The pre-shots, like, where you play around. Maybe something better is happening. So these are those shots where I am playing. So once I know she finished, I'm seeing, you see, these are the clothes which is left for her to finish. So I'm waiting for them to finish. So my only wish is, I don't want them to walk up this way. I don't want at least one of them to walk this way. So either if this guy wearing the white shirt, still it'll work. White, yellow, white will work. And if she's walking, I'm getting a jackpot. Blue against yellow. So I'm waiting for that. I dialed in my settings. So once he started moving in, this is the last cloth there. I know I'm going to get it. So I put my zoom lens. I think it was 2470. I think, yeah, I zoomed in. I think the slight crop also in this shot. Yeah, and so the composition is ready. I'm just waiting for my subject to walk into the place, and I get my shot. Obviously, the cloth is a bit more light here. I mean, the dark here. I just little bit brightened up to my taste to work against the yellow. If I was having a more zoom lens, maybe I will even avoid this white cloth. I don't know how it will work. Maybe I'll just show only even more tighter, just the blue and yellow. That was my thought process afterwards.
But I feel the white is adding a good punch here.
Yes, I mean, just thought of improvising. Yes, so that's with this. So this shots for the rule of thirds. Now let's get into the portrait ones, like the really close tied up.
Shamim, just one question.
Yeah.
Can you please give a hint of the camera settings along with the clicks?
Camera setting doesn't matter. Okay, let me check. Hold on a minute. Let me find out. Camera setting for this. I'm opening my Lightroom. Let me check. Metadata. Yes, for this shot, I'm using zoom lens only. I'm using a 7200 zoom lens. Okay, and my exposure is 1/200th of a second at ISO 500 f8. Okay.
Maybe to just keep it consistent for the next upcoming pictures, I'm sure it's already in your Lightroom. You could just read out the settings for everything. Maybe it will be helpful.
No, it's all in different places. I have to go to every picture and look.
Then it's okay.
That's why. I mean, setting doesn't matter. It's anyway. Never ever anyone will use the same setting. The lighting it varies.
No,
that's why I don't put.
It's part of curiosity.
Yes. Okay. Got it. Right. Okay. The next. This again was a very, very simple shot from a simple location, but this turned out to be really good feedback for me. I mean, this is again nothing but the expression of the girl. I will show you the behind the scenes of the shot. Guys, again, they say show only your best of the best work. Everyone take the bad picture, but the great photographers don't show their bad picture. I'm not telling I'm great or something. I'm just saying don't show out bad picture, but like how I'm doing right now, and don't think I'm a bad photographer because of these pictures. Okay, so this is where it'll not behind, guys. This is we were in Ladakh. We just stopped for a tea, and as usual, curiously, I walked back to the tea shop, and they were making tea there, and there was a small kid playing in the corner. So this is my light source from the window. She was still sitting there. I told her hello, hi, and she showed me this stick. Okay, I should not be doing much nakra with her. Then I just sat there quietly for some time. And after some point, she got like used to me. She was curious about what I'm using, what camera I'm using, what I'm doing, what is this. Then after that, she went to her own world. So the lighting on top of her head was a good rim light. So after me sitting over there, the light was bouncing off me and it was falling on her face. And you could see on her eyes here. Maybe this shot you can see better. You see, this is the floor. The light is, I'm sitting here in this. This is the floor. This light is reflecting back onto her. That is giving like a really underlight. And for her face and her red, small little lips and red sweater what she's wearing, that gives a really big glow on her face. So again, this is a scene. What you see first you enter, then you refine your scene. I think this was shot somewhere in between this. This was not the second shot. This was somewhere over here. This was first. Then I got closer. Then she showed me the stick. Stay away. Okay, I stood far. At this point, okay, I know what I want in my composition. So if I initially tried with the rule of thirds, I felt still that's not doing justice. Then I moved on to center composition, really dead center. And for her big eyes, and she was looking down and just opening only eyes to the camera only. That's when I could get the shot. I got the shot. Then again I was trying few shots. I never got back this reaction again. I moved on. That's all with this picture. Moving on.
I think Shamim, one thing that was one of the classic one I saw, and the good thing is after the editing you have done, you have left that whatever she has eaten, that is still little things left on her cheeks. So
Yeah,
that
again,
gives a good thing to that
yes.
entire thing. Yeah.
Thank you. Actually, that's not eaten. Their skin, the peel off for that climate.
Okay.
They have skin peel off thing.
Okay.
And see, that's where again the editing comes in, guys. You should know what you're editing it for. We are not
Correct.
editing it to make her look beautiful. We are not editing it to make her look bad. We are just documenting what we saw, and we are
Right.
just trying to make it as pleasing and as impactful to the viewers. And we are not doing beauty retouching where we will remove all the blemishes and make her beauty. No, that was not the aim. So if that was the scene, then of course I would have removed it, but that was not the scene. So that is why you should edit for your audience or edit for the purpose what you're editing it for.
Yeah. Classic.
Thank you. And by the way, who was that? I didn't get the name, sorry.
This is Vishwanath, Shamim.
Vishwanath.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, moving on again. Next, this is from another one in Ladakh, from the school. And let's see the behind the scenes of this. Again, we have a small window light. I mean, in this picture, acting this picture, you can see. See, this is a window on. You can see the reflection on the window on the eyes. This is a window, and background is a classroom, which is dark. At first, she was hesitant, don't know what to do. She was scared. This was her reaction. And then, okay, I told her, okay, nothing to worry. I'll just take 2 minutes, then you can do whatever you want. So I told her, do this. I told her, keep your hand somewhere near her lips or nose, something like that. Then she did this. Then she was really static. At that point, I told her, I felt something is lacking. So I told her, stay like that. Don't laugh. At the third time I told don't laugh, she laughed. She was like shy and laughed. I got the shot. In between those things, I was like bursting my shutter. So that's when you get in between moments. Then again, she back to posing. So that's a story behind this. Then again, the processing this. Again, you do center composition. You see what I'm seeing here? Dark, bright, dark, bright. You see the pattern going on? Dark, bright, dark, bright, dark, bright. So that gives like a breaking the pattern, and it gives a impactful shot. Again, from left to right also, you have a dark, bright thing, and in between the eyes, in the nose, here, everywhere, that gives a good dodge and burn effect by in itself. And here you see the first shot, the exposure is not right. So once you know your subject is there, then here I did the exposure, second shot.
If I can add something on this series, if you look at all the five pictures work. The first one has a different emotion, the last one has a different emotion, and the one you chose, which is now black and white, has a different emotion. So when it comes to editing, it's not just about when we say editing, we think it's Photoshop and Lightroom, but also it's about choosing the right picture. That's something
Big picture.
that we need to understand also, because
Yes.
what emotion you want to convey, that's your personal thought. But at the end of the day, out of the series of pictures, you choose the emotion which works. That's part
Yes.
of editing as well.
Definitely. I mean, that's the biggest part of editing. You know, when you know what picture to show and what picture edit, 60% of the work is done. That is the biggest part. You come back with this scene, I have more of this. I'm just selecting the 5 of them. Even the previous pictures, whatever I showed the before shots, BTS shots, I have got many in between shots. So if I put everything in one page, it will not be visible. So I just selected the 4 or 6 pattern. I'm showing only that. Even this picture, as Subodh said, this worked for me in fact. So, but then I felt, okay, let's be more, I like the teeth and the eyes opening. That's why I went for this one. That is only thought process. Maybe I like this also. So again, the thought process.
Shamim,
Yeah.
Vishwanath here again. So is it that because that most of the colors in this photo are the base colors, and that's why you decided to go for a black and white? Or maybe she would have worn a red sweater, so maybe you would have left it in a color. Is it maybe I'm just trying to understand your thought process on that?
Yeah, for me, color and black and white, it is very, very simple question. Because just see the picture, how many colors are there? Here, I don't see any color except a little bit, orangish tone on her
Right.
face.
Yeah.
So everything else is black and white. So that's what is happening over here. So when only for that one color, I feel black and white will give more, more soul touching feel than color. That's what I feel. Maybe if
Great.
we see, I would have gone for, I will show the next picture. I think that we're talking about the color. Why you went for color?
Sure. Thank you.
So just simple question you ask yourself before black and white a color, it will solve the problem.
Thank
Next
you.
picture, yeah. In this picture, almost same. Just the light is coming from the opposite direction. Here, why did I go for color? Simple. Imagine I do this in black and white. You'll not even know what this is. And this
Right.
complementary colors, this color is echoing on her skin. This color is coming on the lollipop. So here color definitely works.
Yeah.
Again, this is a simple shot. Very basic shot, same as the previous one. This is where it began. Again, the same school and a different classroom. This kid was there. She was having a lollipop in her hand. I told, can I have the lollipop? And she immediately gave it to me. And I got that lollipop. She was like a bit sad. And that was the look she gave me. She took me lollipop. Then I told, okay, walk one step towards the light and I get more light on her face. Then I gave her lollipop back. She was about to eat it. I told, okay, stop it right there. And little bit, I told her, okay, move her hand left and right just to align with her, this center. I'm getting the shot. And then yesterday, I think the previous session, we had a big discussion about to pose or not to pose a subject. To pose a subject is as difficult as to not to pose a subject. Because we are not doing, for me, I'm not doing the news documentary or something like that. We are doing art. So art is again subjective. If I just go to this place, I need to shoot this kid as it was, that will not come in the genre which I'm shooting. So maybe that's a different genre, like a news photography or journalism. So again, that's my answer, because next question I am expecting, do you pose always? Yes, I kind of pose to get what I want. Whereas I don't completely, change the entire scene. I don't make them wear some jewelry or make them fancy dress. No, that's not my thing. So what they are there, I'm just showing in a more beautiful and a better way and more welcoming way. So that's with the portrait shots. Next coming, I am doing a series called 3, where my subject and my subject will be a 3-person or 3 kids, anything which is 3 of them, and against a clean or something, complementary background to it. So that's a series which I'm like doing quite some time. This is one of them. I think this is where it started, based on this picture. This was one of my most viral picture. And the BTS of this, I have not shown to anyone except to few my one-to-one students who come for my classes. So this is where it all began. This is where it all began. We were in the same school. This is the window. This is by passing through the window. This is what first I saw. Then I know what I wanted. I didn't know I'm gonna posing them like this way, but I know I don't want distraction, clean background and blue. Then I told these kids, do whatever you want, but don't take your head out of this windows. Stay there and do whatever you want. So initially they were like static. They were like, don't know what to do. And the kids, their friends around them started making fun of them after like 2-3 minutes. That is when we get the in between shot. Still, I don't let them go. I don't know, okay, keep continuing what you're doing. Maybe I thought maybe better than this I'm going to get. I kept on shooting. I never got anything better than this shot. In between, I got many of them. In between, I got like at least 10, 15 or at least 20 of them in between. I'm just getting my composition and this one ready and keep shooting. So this one point, this guy and this position, everything was falling in place. I get my shot. So
Shamim, Rajseva here. When you're shooting such pictures, so your camera is in continuous mode, right? Normally?
Yeah, continuous burst mode. Yeah.
Burst mode. Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Again, this is from another monastery in Ladakh only. This picture, it didn't start here. It started completely different place, different location, different thought process. Then this background was, I'll tell you how it came. So this is where it all began. So this is the entrance to this place, and these kids were there. My initial idea was, okay, let me shoot a 3 series. I shot them. I was not happy. I was like, okay, I'm not getting it. I let it go. Initially, I thought maybe I'll shoot them against a white wall, but that was not very much compelling. Just a blank white wall, not doing much. I made them get into this doorstep and I made them pose here. Still not working. Then he said, okay, guys, you guys carry on. I left the place. I moved on. And after coming this stairways, or I don't know, this way or inside that, I see this wall, which was much more interesting. This is like a corridor there. These lines were continuing. I felt this pattern was more compelling than this. Then again, I went back to these kids and I made them come here, and I made them pose again over here. Again over here, you see the color echoing. They're yellow, they're maroon, they're orange. That was a theme which I was following. So not necessarily you might get your shot then and there. So first rule is find your background, then go find your subject. Here I just the opposite. I found my subject, but I don't have a good background. I walked on. Then I found my background. Then I went back to my subject, bring them in. Again, I shot them. So I think having a theme or something to work on sometimes helps. This I guess another shot from my 3 series. This was on Kohima village, northeast. Again, you see, again I'm playing with the colors green, red, yellow, and blue. I didn't make them wear it; they were wearing it. Again, this is a working in progress scene. Again, similar thing. These kids were, when I went there, the kids were playing around over there. I mean, they were playing down there. I told them, okay, I want to see, this is what you see, this, the city side, I mean, the hill area, all this background, the background scene. So I just went a little bit lower. I kept only the sky, the kids, and the colors are working for me. So I told them, okay, you guys do whatever you want, but do it in this area. So you give them this is like a semi kind of posing, not manipulating much, and also not documenting as it is, just adding a bit of artistic touch to it. So this is where I give a slight little bit hint of the village and the mountain, just to show we are above the mountain. Because over here you don't know where you are. Maybe this could be a land, this could be a well, whatever it is. So just a hint of the mountain over here and a little bit of the backdrop of the village background. Now this tells a better story. Okay, they are in some high altitude, the mountain is there, and along with the colors, this one still works. Compared to this one, why I chose this? Because here she's looking into my frame. This is all cluttered, two static posts. Here I don't like the the electric wire, so I end up with this one. I think this is my last slide. I think yes, this is the last slide for the show for the evening, and yeah, this was from my last trip to Madurai. Again, this, let's see where it all began. Again, this I'm since I'm shooting this series, I mean, I shot this out because there's always something going on my head to shoot that series for my series. This is where it all began. I saw the scene these kids were playing. This I didn't post. I didn't tell them to stand. I didn't tell them to do anything. You could see the shadow of the boats. These boats, these are shadows. I went on, climbed on one top of them. I am trying to compose. You see, this is my composition happening. At one point, I see this triangle formation, the legs, the RGB against the clean sand. I mean, the clean water, and the waves are like forming the rule of thirds base. So I think this worked for me. Again, for the series of 3. Many shots are there, but I don't have the BTS of all those things. So without BTS, it doesn't make no sense to explain. So I'm skipping all those things. So from my Instagram or from my Facebook, if you have any particular shot which you want to talk about, I can do right now. And so that's all for the evening, guys.
Samim, which place it is which show in last photo?
This one in Madurai, in Tamil Nadu. It's a place called.
No,
I went for
Madurai
this,
don't have seashore actually.
I mean, oh my God, sorry, Madurai. This is from Tiruchendur.
This
Yeah,
is
okay.
Tiruchendur, just after the
Yeah.
temple.
Yeah.
Good.
Sorry,
It's
because
good to
Madurai.
see this pictures. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
No, he was confused because the trip was to Madurai, then we went to Tiruchendur.
Yes. Thank you, Zulfi.
No problem.
That's fine. Actually, I'm nearby that. That's what I was asking. The place is
Sorry,
so
your
good.
name? Your name?
Nanda Gopal from Oman.
Okay. Guys,
Thank
any
you.
questions, any doubts, anything you want to talk more from what you saw? From my
Shamim,
Instagram?
if
Yeah.
you're done with the slides, maybe
Yeah.
we can put on the gallery view and can look at everyone and have a discussion.
Gallery view, matlab the.
You can.
Which one? This one, okay.
Hi, I have a question, Chaitanya.
Yeah, Chetan, yes.
My question is, you have any choices for selecting the Photoshop or Lightroom or any other software based on the category of your photography? That is, you choose Photoshop for maybe landscape, you choose Lightroom for portraits, something like that, or you end up using both for the entire photographs of yours? What is your preference, personal preferences?
Okay. I have been using Photoshop since 2003. Since my school days, I'm using Photoshop. And past few years, I think since 2013 onwards, I'm using Lightroom as well. I'm teaching Lightroom as well. Okay. So your question is, when do I choose Lightroom? When do I choose Photoshop? But
Yes.
in recent times, I'm trying my level best to finish everything in Lightroom. Because once I go to Photoshop, I'm creating a duplicate of the file. That is, I'm using the same. I'm using some hard disk space, and plus now the latest version of Lightroom is so powerful. It gives everything except cut, copy, paste. Like really manipulating. It gives you everything, all the controls, even to dodge and burn to a certain limit. It gives you. So most of my recent editings are done only in Lightroom. But still, if I feel any picture needs little bit of punch, little bit of more dodge and burn or more refining, then I take it to Photoshop. Especially if it is a portrait picture, mostly I tend to use Photoshop because Photoshop is faster than Lightroom at times. Because when you do more layers and more dodge and burn and different, you beautify the eye, each and every eyelashes and eyebrows and everything. I think Photoshop is fast there. So that is when I use Photoshop. Otherwise, in the recent times, I'm sticking mostly to Lightroom itself.